in the fall, or a bike to school event in the fall, given that our situation with COVID is still very tenuous. The original plan was that, we were sort of gonna kick bike to work down into the fall and have sort of like a bike to work fall edition. I'm not so sure if that makes sense now. And I was curious if anybody had any opinions about that. Anybody?
Bikatoga is actually continuing to do some outdoor activities. We're doing slow rolls, and people are still being really good about actually wearing masks on the bike ride. So we're not stopping group activities in that sense. We actually had a slow roll last month that 27 participants showed up for. And so I think bike riding is one of the activities, as long as when you gather doing it is one of those okay things to do. We're seeing a lot more people doing that now and getting out walking or biking. I don't know. I would love to say go ahead, and then we may have to cancel it. So I know it's a lot of work to do that, but we're going to continue with slow rolls and actually create a local challenge for biking and walking within our community.
Okay. Sort of like it not sort of oriented towards work or school, just sort of a general community challenge.
Just in general, because there's so many people that, compared to what was before COVID, there's a lot more people out. We're short on bikes, in our workshop. As a result. So it just seems like biking is truly an activity people are not having or being forced to let go of. I've ridden on a number of the trails around here. I do mostly road riding, but when I do ride on the trails, people have their masks on and they're generally being pretty good. So I don't know.
Do you have a challenge like date scheduled?
It's going to be an on your own. So we're continuing the slow rolls as a group activity, which is once a month. But they're self-directed challenges. So it's similar to yours. It will, I think, give folks the opportunity to have a goal, set it, and achieve something during this, set some goal that we can look forward to.
Right.
But we're not doing mass connections. This is for families, kids. We're just starting up planning that and putting something together. We'll start out slow and add to that as the fall and winter and spring come around. We're just kind of plan A, B, and C. I hope we do have a bike to work next year, and I hope it falls in May, in the bike to month time frame if we can.
Allison, did you get your raffle prize yet in the mail, or no? I can't hear you, but it looks like you're shaking now. Okay. If you don't get it by the end of the week, will you let me know, and I'll look into where it is? But it should have gotten mailed out last week.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Jen.
Sure. All right.
Hi.
Go ahead.
This is it's Trish from the Albany County Health Department. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm multiple technology. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So just one of the things from the health department, biking is definitely one of those very low risk activities. And a lot of that has to do with that when people are riding together, they're not really close together and it's outside. So the amount of, if someone has COVID, you're not really exposed to it for as long. So with masks and stuff, it's recommended that you have it on hand to put on when you come in close proximity. So that closer than 6 feet. not necessarily why people are riding, just because that impairs your ability to get enough oxygen to do the exercise. And then also the risk is low. But one of the things, if you do these events, I wonder if it's like, if you have people show up at staggered times and like send them out at different times, and that way it's not a mass gathering, so people are really just connecting with like a small circle of people that maybe they come with that are part of their household, or arrive separately, and just kind of spread out so that it's an experience of seeing everyone out together, but keeping that distance and keeping it safe. So just a suggestion to kind of think about, you know, with those events. But the physical activity is definitely needed. Like, we're seeing a lot of increase in mental health concerns for people related to the isolation. And then, you know, just anecdotally, people sharing about how much weight they put on from not getting out and moving and all that kind of stuff. So we really want people to stay physically active to help, you know, manage their chronic diseases too.
Thanks, Tricia. That's a good point. We've noted that. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Gonna, can everyone can see my screen, right? Okay. So as we've discussed, CDTC has been maintaining a COVID-19 resource page on our website. We recently added information as far as like travel advisories and other information that might be useful for individuals as well as local governments and other organizations. We have been tracking the VMT data, and as of late June, it did show that there was a slight recovery in traffic, but not quite back to the baseline. So we'll continue to monitor that and see what happens as more things open. Again, this is on the CDTC COVID-19 resource page, but just wanted to bring it to your attention. If you're working in a community or with a group that's doing a open street or safe street project right now, there are a lot of tools and guidance on the NACDO website. I am collecting photos from around the region of how different cities, communities are adapting. I did go out on Sunday in Albany to get some photos of how they've done the extended sidewalk and sidewalk cafes. The photo on the left shows, you know, they've extended seating onto the sidewalk and they're kind of diverting pedestrians into the parking lane. They did do a good job with signage, and then there's a ramp for accessibility. I did find it to be a mindful, pretty thorough design. And then on the right-hand side is just utilizing parking spaces for kind of like overflow seating on less busier streets. So if your community is doing these projects, please feel free to share the photos with us. We'd like to, you know, keep track and document this. And, you know, hopefully we won't have to adapt for a pandemic again in the future, but you know, learning from our experience as well as our mistakes in the future is good. So moving forward with other CDTC updates, the CDTC CDRPC Technical Assistance Program is, the application deadline has, well, as you can see on the left-hand side, it was extended, and now it's kind of moved to a rolling application type of process, and the information is on our website. So that is not quite the scale of a linkage study, more of a small scale type of project that community might need assistance with. If these eligible initiatives look like something you need, take a look, get in touch, let us know if you have any questions. The Capital District Trails Plan implementation program is still open. Proposals are due August 7th. If you have any questions, please get in touch. We are happy to talk, chat, discuss your proposal. Complete Streets workshops, we've been talking about this for the last several months. We have switched this to rolling acceptance. The initial deadline has passed. We understand that a lot of communities are just, with remote work and budget issues and other more pressing things coming up. Not all of our communities have had a chance to really focus on these types of programs and projects to submit applications. So we are trying to be accommodating. So there is a rolling acceptance for applications, and that's the same for the ADA transition plans. So New Visions 2050 updates. As you know, we've had to change up our public outreach and engagement because we can't do in-person events or meetings. So we've moved everything to the website, and we have been working with groups to get out flyers. We have a virtual voicemail box where that you can text or leave a voicemail at, so you don't need an internet-enabled smartphone. We have a survey. You can just scan a QR code and it'll take you there. We are also actually inspired by the Safe Routes to School ambassadors and doing a social media photo voices type of initiative, asking people to take photos and share them and tag us. We have also launched a virtual public workshop series. So we had our first public workshop last week. We do have 2 sessions scheduled for tomorrow, and then one next Wednesday, and then again on Wednesday, July 29th. We've tried to move the times around to be accommodating to people's schedules. There is live polling and an interactive component to the workshop. So they're not just kind of sitting and listening to a presentation, but we are trying to be engaging and interesting as possible. So please let me know if you're interested. On our website, there is a link to register, and it was also in the meeting agenda for today. So Rima, if you're still on, and if you want to talk about the commuter survey and learning center briefly. I'm not sure if Rima's still on. We'll go back to her if she comes back. For linkage program status, the worksheet, the table with all of the ongoing studies went out with the agenda, and it will also be included in the notes. The Albany Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan has been moving forward with public input sessions and other engagement strategies. And the Hoosick Hillside study is getting ready to plan some public engagement. And then there are a bunch of other projects that are just getting started, like the Ballston Spa, Pedestrian and Bicycle Study, the Scotia Downtown Connections Plan, the Menands Land Use Update, and the New York 7 Freight and Land Use Study. And there's also a bridge preservation report, which will be an update from, I believe it was 2014 and 2015. Similarly, the TIP project status, I don't expect you to be able to see this, but the spreadsheets went out in the agenda, and they will go out in the notes if you're looking for the status of a particular TIP project. So this would be any sort of capital road, sidewalk, trail, highway improvement project. The status of it, whether it's still in design or is being let or in construction, is all on that spreadsheet. Related to the Capital Coexist program and our mini grants, we've reached out to all of our mini grant sponsors and have given them the option of slightly rescoping the project to support and to adapt to current circumstances, or they can reschedule or roll their grant over to next year and not apply again. So if you decide you can't do your project this year, you can resubmit it. It'll be prioritized for funding next year. or if you decide you need to rescope, it has to meet some very specific criteria, and then it will be reapproved. Unfortunately, the APBP webinars are not, we still can't share the link with everyone, but if you are specifically interested in any of these, please let me know. Sorry, I didn't update the title for this Wednesday's this Wednesday's webinar is actually about victim blaming and the crash reporting process. So if you are interested, let me know. We have recordings of the webinars that I can share with you. And that is out of place, I'm sorry. Okay, so PHP Cycle update. I think Lindsay is on the line. Lindsay, do you wanna give a quick update? We can't hear you, Lindsay, but I see that you did unmute. Okay, we can't hear Lindsay, but as you may have noticed, CDPHP Cycle has been rolling back out in phases. So you will probably see them more near trails and essential businesses as they're trying to provide that service to people who need it, and also, you know, on the trails where people seem to be riding more right now. Okay, so our next meeting is scheduled for August 11th. Again, it'll be by Zoom. If anyone has anything to share, I'm trying to find the chat box. Chat, where'd it go? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so maybe we can see it. Okay, so it looks like we have a question about the 787 road diet did not include a sidewalk. What? That's from John Mitchell. There is a trail on one side of that. I'm unsure of what exactly you're referring to, John.
Yeah, you're right. The 10-foot trail is on one side, but I thought the original plan had both the trail on one side and the sidewalk on the other side. That's not physically present.
I don't remember, but I can definitely check on that and see.
I mean, you know, the trail is great there. I mean, I certainly appreciate it. I was just a little bit disappointed that I thought that there would be access on both sides.
I'll check on that and see, you know, if it was excluded, why. But if anyone has had a chance to drive through that part of 787, it is, I believe, complete, 100% complete now. There are things like raised crosswalks or speed tables, I guess they call them, and some other improvements that I think have been successful in slowing traffic through the corridor, but
I agree.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like more of a multi-purpose trail on the east side of the road.
That's right.
No
Yeah.
other improvement, but it was a great improvement.
Yes, I agree. As I say, but my looking at the original plans, I thought I saw a sidewalk on the other side also, which was you know, because you don't necessarily want, you know, pedestrians to cross the street twice, you know, when the sidewalk is very suitable. But regardless, 99% improved. Excellent. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any updates that they want to share?
Just
Hey, this is.
Oh, let's let
Go ahead,
Ivan.
Ivan.
Sorry, Ivan, why don't you go and then James?
Just on the state level, the multi-purpose trail along the Tappan Zee Bridge, quite an accomplishment, had opened about 2 weeks ago. Governor opened it, and some trail club members had rode it. A number of us were offered the ride, but couldn't make it for various reasons. But it's quite a beautiful system, and worth taking a trip on.
Thanks, Ivan. James?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention our Summer Square program. That was originally part of our Coexist grant from Transport Troy, spearheading that. So it's really great to see the city jumping on board and really taking it as an opportunity during this time with the pandemic. So that's really exciting that it's been expanded. For anybody who doesn't know, it's 2nd Street and part of Broadway in our downtown, and it's totally closed off to cars Thursday, Friday, Saturday evenings. Some of us were pushing for a more expanded time, but that was what we settled on. And then Troy Bike Rescue is also planning a similar casual ride. I don't know if it's quite going to be called a slow roll, but it'll be a ride focused on just community engagement, specifically connecting with youth in the community. And that'll be on July 31st, the last Friday of the month at 5:30 at TBR. So I'll be on social media in the next few days. I just want to put it out there for folks.
Thanks, James. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. So I will work with
Oops,
Kate.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeanette.
I'm sorry. I thought I was unmuted. I talked already. No. Bikatoga will do another slow roll on Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, and it starts at 10 a.m. And I believe we leave from Broadway. There is a business down there that we left from the last couple of times. It's a cafe, and I believe that's where Palette Cafe. That's where we're leaving from again. But there'll be social media postings. Also, our workshop is up and running, following all of our COVID directives. So far safe and sound. But we need adult men's bikes. Thank you.
Sure. I have heard that it's difficult to get a bike right now. So.
Hey, Janet.
Sure.
This is John Gillivan. Have you contacted any of the bike rescues?
Have I contacted it? Oh, you're talking to Jeanette. Sorry.
Yeah, Janet. Because last time I talked to Electric City Bike Rescue, Art Clayman, and I was actually at the facility. They had more bikes, and they had every room was full of bikes. I haven't talked to him. I can put an email out to him because actually I've got a neighbor and I got a close friend that want to swap bikes. They want to take an old 10-speed and they want to get a comfort bike. I know I'm not sure what Art was doing during the COVID, but I mean he had over probably 150 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to reach out to him, or I can reach out and ask him the question. Last year, they were trying to give them out to nonprofits and people in need at no cost. I actually connected with the village. The village of County has like an adult and kid program. They try to help families in need. And I got a couple bikes for some teenagers to ride and work. So that was over a year ago. But I would say, I'm not sure what the status of the Troy Bike Rescue didn't have a lot of room for storage. I've never been to the Albany Bike Rescue, but I know Electric City Bike Rescue with their new facility up on James Street, or Jerry Street, is it? Yeah, Jerry Street. That they had a lot of bikes the last time I was in there.
Yeah, I think we're short because the track has come back into town. Track workers, we tend to decrease our stock during this time period, and we do not deny anyone a bike regardless of what the situation is. So we're trying to just, I think we only have like maybe 1 or 2 men's bikes in stock, and they may even be gone while I'm speaking. So that's a current need. I will take that information and pass it along to our workshop guys.
Okay.
Thank you, John, for
Yeah, no problem.
sharing that that idea.
I've reached out to the Albany Bike Rescue because I did hear from Dan Craven. He's presented to the Bike Ped Advisory Committee before in the past. I've wanted him to come and talk with the group about their experience through COVID and everything, because he has been just totally slammed with requests for bikes and has been delivering bikes. They were focusing on just essential workers for a while, but they have been overwhelmed with requests, and he has been, between his job and then the bike rescue, so busy he hasn't been able to commit to presenting, but he is, he does hope to come and talk about everything the bike rescue has been doing with their bike voucher program, and now with essential workers and trying to get bikes out as fast as possible. So hopefully we'll get him eventually.
Well, we may have bikes we can share with him, so maybe that might be a nice conversation, roundtable conversation to have among the
bike
bike
rescues.
rescues.
Yeah.
We can
Okay.
share.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. So I'm going to work with to get the presentation from Paige and Drew and Mark and their contact information that'll be included in the notes, along with all the other attachments and worksheets that I mentioned today. And our next meeting will be August 11th. I will send out an agenda and meeting information. And it looks like Lindsay at CDPHP Cycle did email me some notes on CDPHP Cycle rollout, so I'll include them in our meeting notes so everyone has the current status. If you have any questions before then, please feel free to reach out, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weeks. So bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Jennifer.
Thank you.